I love democracy. I love the Republic.
The main thing is to protect these characters, make sure that they still continue to live in the way that you created them, and that the universe of Star Wars continues to grow.
So, Disney takes a Danish fairy tale written by Hans Christian Andersen and casts an African-American girl because of diversity. And they wonder why it failed. Elemental by Pixar failed to ignite the box office because basically Pixar has lost its soul. Almost every offering they've had out there for the last 2 years has been terrible. As we can see with Strange World, I think this is a Walt Disney animation with, pansexual or non-binary or homosexual kid in this. It's like parents don't want their kids to see this. And then, of course, when we get to Lightyear and the lesbian relationship, again, people don't want to take their kids to stuff like this. Okay, they just don't. And yet another misstep, Thor, Love and Thunder, which basically kind of took Marvel and dumped it upside down. I hadn't seen this movie. I'm not a Marvel fan. And of course, Ant-Man and Wasp should have just been called Wasp, and Ant-Man was kind of there. Okay, look. If the movies are good, people will go. But the movies aren't good, people won't go. Now, there are analysts out there saying, I question their title of analyst, they're really not, but we'll go along with it. There are people out there saying that these movies have lost almost $900 million for Disney. Now, okay, fine, we'll go with that. We'll go with that number. Yet, they strongly believe that even though Marvel is moving movies back and canceling movies, canceling TV series, that Kathleen Kennedy still has her acolyte and that the Rey movie is going to happen. $900 million. All right, what do you think Bob Iger gets to hear on the phone on a Monday morning when the box office comes in? From Nelson Peltz, from Dan Loeb, maybe even from Tim Buckley. Think about it. Now he's got another big, should have been a blockbuster movie coming out, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I already have friends who've seen it and they're screaming about it. I'm going to watch it with an open mind because I'll probably like it for reasons. It's hard for people, I think, out there to see actors and actresses that they loved getting older, and I think that's the problem that they've been having, and they've been told to hate it because of that. Okay, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but I'm not there for her, okay? But how does this all affect what's going on at Lucasfilm? All right, they haven't had a movie out since December 2019. Disney's basically been terrified to give Kennedy a go on anything. And we have this movie coming out, which the history of it is, it should have been, in my opinion, after knowing what I know about how long it took to get it to the point where it was actually in production, it should have been in production and done 5 years ago. But let's see how this affects Kathleen Kennedy.
There is a danger. Should I have your ship standing by?
Evacuate? In our moment of triumph?
I think you overestimate their chances.
The fleet has moved out to flight speed and we're preparing to...
You have failed me for the last time, Admiral.
The time has come. Execute Order 66.
It takes a lot of talent. But yeah, he introduces everybody that's pivotal as to, you know, the creation and everything of Indiana Jones. And he just totally doesn't mention her at all, which I think is hilarious. And you can see the look on her face. She's just like, I don't get mentioned. And yeah, it's, fuck you, Kathleen.
All right, I had to show this video again because I want everybody to understand that moment, when you look at the look on Frank Marshall's face, is the most telling moment in this woman's career. Okay, there were 3 men up there that did not want to acknowledge her or Frank at all. Okay, the body language to the whole thing is awkward. And the fact that Spielberg and Ford look at each other like, we did it, you know, it's look, I don't give a shit what you think. She's been cut off at the knees. She is not the most powerful woman in Hollywood. Has not been in a long time. I don't think people have actually taken her seriously in almost 5 years now. So, all right, we've got this vaunted imaginary Rey movie. Disney is close to, if Indiana Jones does not make $1.25 billion, they will not break even. It'll probably lose another probably $200 million. And I hate to say that. But let's be honest that the critics have been mean to it. Fans I know that have seen it have been disappointed. I hope it does better than what people think, because I think Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones should go out on a high note. But, you know, maybe sacrificing Indy for getting rid of Kennedy is the thing that has to happen. I don't know. I just think it's sad. But the Rey movie will never happen because of all this. Then we have The Acolyte. All right, we have people out there, I'm not saying names, who think that a showrunner doesn't stay around, and they do. Compared the job to a plumber and then backed off of it. Stupid. This woman has caused a lot of trouble. This woman right here, Leslie Headland, and her former boss, Harvey Weinstein, has caused a tremendous amount of trouble for Lucasfilm and Disney with this show, The Acolyte. Lucasfilm is being sued. She has not paid her licensing fees to Companies House, the UK government, so The Acolyte itself could end up being property of the Crown, okay? And with Disney pulling things off of Disney Plus, we've got Willow being yanked, and I wouldn't be surprised that we see Solo get yanked. I think that would be the only right thing to do. But we see a lot of stuff being pulled off of Disney Plus. And we're talking about movies that and shows that could have been licensed out to Netflix, TNT, other networks, could have actually been on linear TV and gotten ad revenue. I would say it's not just $1 billion. I would say it's bigger than that. Disney left a lot of money sitting on the table by creating their own streaming service. And I think it was stupid to do. But let's talk a little bit about where this goes as far as Lucasfilm goes. First off, we know that Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny cost $300 million to make. And we know that it ended up having reshoots. In fact, Harrison Ford himself admitted it in an interview that there was a new ending shot. Because, let's put it this way, even back when Chapek was still in charge, he yelled at Kennedy over Indiana Jones. And then Iger did and said, fucking fix it. And that's exactly what he probably told her to. Fucking fix it. And so she had to. So there you go. Now, we've got that going on. So, Dial of Destiny could cost $500 million. All right. Now, I'm going to ask everybody here. Since we know it won't break even, okay, unless it gets legs, and I think the way the narrative has gone, I don't think it could get legs. If Sid Charisse showed up and Marlene Dietrich and Betty Grable donated theirs, okay, it's not going to break even. It could lose, I'm going to say, $250 million. Again, like I said, if Indy has to be sacrificed to get rid of Kennedy, so be it, okay? Despite the crying and whining about Crystal Skull, I liked it. I'll probably like this one. All right, there's a cadre of fans who don't want to see people grow old because it reminds them that they're growing old. May I remind you, look at Harrison Ford and see what he can do at the age of 81. And then go sit down and think about your life, okay? Because everybody on the planet has value no matter what age, okay? And when I hear the ageist shit going on by certain nerdy podcasters and things like that, it makes me sick to my stomach. Okay, so if that's the reason why the movie doesn't do well, but I don't think it is going to be the reason why. I think the reason why is going to be Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I think Steven Spielberg did not want her in the movie. I think he was pissed off about the script and what was going on with it. I think Kennedy played fast and loose with him. He got pissed and left. And then when he was able to come back, he struck a blow not only for George Lucas, finally, not only for Harrison Ford, finally, even though I think Harrison probably let her know in private, but himself and someone who wasn't there, but someone who's been really hurt by Kathleen Kennedy, Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, all right? This was a big fucking deal to see what he did. Now we still have people out there thinking the Rey movie's going to happen at 1,000%. Okay? Still think the Rey movie's going to happen 1,000%. And yet, look at their analysis of the box office, even without Indiana Jones 5. And then think about it, because it's like, why would they lose all this money and then let her spend another $500 million or whatever it would cost to make her movie three times over till she got it almost to the point of being barely watchable? Why would they do that? If you're going to be a business analyst, Be a business analyst, okay? Kathleen Kennedy was pantsed last week in front of all of Hollywood. And I'm sorry to say this, everybody, but I've been right about this from 2018. She is not the most powerful woman in Hollywood anymore. That is over. And Steven Spielberg let everybody see it. The Empress has no clothes. Ta-da, there she is. And there's her husband who let her do it. Who is a bigger cuck than any of them were buying her shit. Okay? So, analyze this box office, but remember, you gotta think rationally for once. Are they going to spend any more money on Kathleen Kennedy when she's making failure after failure after failure after failure? It doesn't make sense. Disney's starving for cash. Go back and think about it. All right? Really think about it. They can't even service their own debt and interest on their debt. Okay? This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.